ഇന്നുള്ളത് മുഹമ്മദ് ഫയാസ് ആണ്. അദ്ദേഹം മലയാളിയാണ്. ജസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ക് so many Malus who cannot speak Malayalam. He also struggles to speak fluently in Malayalam. So what he will do is he will explain the things in English. So ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിൽ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കും, ഫയാസ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ ഉത്തരം പറയും. അതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു ഫോർമാറ്റ്. സോ ഇന്നത്തെ സെഷന്റെ മെയിൻ റീസൺ എന്നുള്ളത് ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിനെ കുറിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കുകയാണ്. സോ ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിനെ കുറിച്ച് നമുക്കറിയാം, ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ലൈക്ക് എനി അതർ ഫീൽഡ്. ഡിസൈൻ ഒരു ആർട്ട് ഫീൽഡാണ് ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഡീൽസ് വിത്ത് ബ്യൂട്ടി ആൻഡ് സിമെട്രി. ഡിസൈൻ എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരു സയൻസ് ഫീൽഡാണ് ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഡീൽസ് വിത്ത് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റേഷൻ ആൻഡ് റിപ്പീറ്റേഷൻ. Design is engineering because it deals with mathematics also sometimes. So adana. So without losing much time, let's welcome our talented design guru, Mr. Mohammed Fayaz.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. That was quite the introduction. Happy to be here. So, hello, guys. So, I'm Fayaz. I'm the head of design for Chups. We design open footwear. And so we're doing this session over here to basically take you guys through a journey on how I started off and, where we are at and any, towards the end of the session, I think we'll have a Q&A and I'd love to help you guys out. So we can get started.
Sure. സോ ഫയാസും ഞാൻ തമ്മിലുള്ള ഒരു റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആദ്യമായി ഫയാസിനെ കാണുന്നത് ഡ്യൂറിങ് മൈ ടീച്ചിങ് ടൈം, late 20s, early 30s. I used to teach in a college called PA College of Engineering. അവിടെ വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ആദ്യമായിട്ട് മുഹമ്മദ് ഫയാസിനെ കണ്ടുമുട്ടുന്നത്. സോ അവിടെ അവൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ ആയിരുന്നു. സോ he was a very brilliant student. In a way, good mannerism, നല്ല രീതിയിൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന, നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പെരുമാറുന്ന ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. സോ ടു ഫൈൻഡ് ഗുഡ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വെരി ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട്. ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ മാർക്സ് മാത്രമല്ല, അക്കാഡമിക് എക്സലൻസ് മാത്രമല്ല, മറിച്ച് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ടീച്ചേഴ്സിനോട് പെരുമാറുന്ന, നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ സ്കിൽ പൊസസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ എന്നുള്ളത് ഏതൊരു ക്ലാസിന്റെയും അസറ്റാണ്. സോ നമുക്ക് ഇന്നത്തെ സെഷൻ 6 കാര്യങ്ങളിലാണ് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ടുള്ളത്. സോ ഫസ്റ്റ് സെഷൻ അദ്ദേഹം, നമ്മുടെ ഫയാസ്, അദ്ദേഹം സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തത് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിലാണ്. സോ ഹിസ് ജേർണി ഫ്രം എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടു ഡിസൈൻ എങ്ങനെ ആയിരുന്നു എന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യും. സോ മെയിൻലി ദ ഫോക്കസ് വിൽ ബി ഓൺ ഹിസ് സ്ട്രഗിൾസ് ആൻഡ് ഹൗ ഹി ഗോട്ട് ഔട്ട് ഫ്രം ദാറ്റ് സ്ട്രഗിൾ ഫേസ് ടു ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റേജ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. രണ്ടാമത്തത് എന്നുള്ളത് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടും ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിലെ കരിയറിനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് അദ്ദേഹം എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. മൂന്നാമത്തത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എങ്ങനെ ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിൽ കരിയർ ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്ന കാര്യവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിട്ടാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ എന്നുള്ളത്. നാലാമത്തത് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കമ്പനിയെ കുറിച്ചും, ഇറ്റ്സ് എ റെവല്യൂഷണറി കമ്പനി ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ്സ് റോൾ ഓൾസോ വെരി ക്രിട്ടിക്കൽ. സോ അതിനെ കുറിച്ച് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യും. അഞ്ചാമതായിട്ട് വ്യൂവേഴ്സിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള മെസ്സേജ് ആണ്. ആറാമത്തത് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസർ ആണ്. സോ ഈ രീതിയിലാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ ലൈവ് സെഷനെ ഓർഗനൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. സോ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് സെഗ്മെന്റ് വിൽ ബി മുഹമ്മദ് ഫയാസ് വിൽ ബി എക്സ്പ്ലെയിനിങ് ഹൗ ഹി സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ഹിസ് ജേർണി ഫ്രം എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആൻഡ് എൻഡഡ് അപ്പ് ഇൻ ഡിസൈൻ. എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിൽ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് എങ്ങനെ ഡിസൈനിൽ എത്തിച്ചേർന്നു എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം he will explain. So Fayaz, you can take up.
Okay, thank you. So just like every other parent, my options that were given to me were either medicine or engineering. I picked up medicine. I picked up engineering, and I thought, okay, let me try it. So I was really into cars, but it was just very early days that I didn't quite figure out which part of a subject that I really liked. So I was good at doodling and drawing at a very early age, but that was not recognized as a skill set to work. I just like everybody else, every other parent for suggesting the kid to take up engineering. I took up engineering. First year was nice, and like sir suggested, Mujib sir suggested. He was an amazing professor that I had. And by the end of first year, I was starting to understand that engineering was just not my cup of tea. So when I went to the second year, it was hardcore mechanical, and by the end of second year, I almost understood. Even if I were to graduate again, nothing bad with engineering. It's an amazing stream to pursue. It was just not my cup of tea, and I could figure out that even if I were to graduate and become a fully fledged engineer, I wouldn't be the best. And something that I figured out very early on is whatever I needed to do, whatever I had to pursue, I had to be the best at it. This that sort of journey is still going on. So by the end of second year, I was preparing for this back subject, and I was just not understand. I'd written this subject at least 4 times at this time, and I was trying to understand this might not be going well for me. So it was a snap decision where I decided to drop out. It was a big decision because at the time, this was early, I think 2012, 2012, 13. And you only hear dropout stories about like either Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, and it's a one in a million rarity. And I thought, how am I going to do this? But I still took a leap of faith, and alhamdulillah, it's worked out. But it was a big leap, and um, all I had going for me was just the belief that I'll make it out without a degree, and possibly do something, make something of myself. So I tried for about a year. I tried different things. I tried entrepreneurship. I tried opening up a restaurant, but it was just not working out. And then I was sitting for breakfast with a friend of mine, and I was telling him, "Man, nothing was working out. What am I supposed to do?" And he said, it was just a very nice, moment where he said, "Hey, you used to be good at drawing. Just try something in that." And I said, "Man, drawing, what am I going to do? Illustrators, what do they do? Like maximum, they get like featured in newspapers or articles." And design was not a subject that it wasn't given as much importance back in the day. Now the culture is just really beautiful, and you get to do so many things with it. But at the time, it was just very limited information on it. And I unfortunately didn't do a lot of research at the time either. And I borrowed this Galaxy Note from a friend of mine, and I had the stylus with it, and I just started illustrating something, and I could get it. It was coming back. And I just started uploading it on Instagram, and then I started doing some illustrations on my drawing book that was dusted off. I'd stopped drawing a long time ago, and then I just started drawing it, and all of this is just coming back to me. Now I had to figure out, how do I turn this into a career? It sounds so smooth right now, but at that time it was really scary. And I think very thankful, very grateful for my parents for having that kind of patience with me. They gave me the time to figure out what I wanted. Very grateful for that. So, a friend of mine suggested. He said that this is great. Your work is really good, and I was doing drawings at the time, and he told me, "Hey, so my cousin wanted a logo. Would you want to do it? But I have to tell you, there's no charge. You can't charge him anything." So, and when you're starting out initially, me like everybody else, said, "You know what? Let's go for it. Somebody's giving me a chance to prove myself. Let's do it." And I just did something. I, just designed something, and they liked it, of course, because they're not paying. So of course they'll take it, and
Yeah.
that's where I started with logo design, and from there my career started pushing through. And yeah, I tried everything, and now landed in footwear design. We'll come to that in the following questions.
Yeah. So, ഫയാസ് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്തത് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടും എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആദ്യം സെലക്ട് ചെയ്തു. ദെൻ അവന് മനസ്സിലായി ആ ഒരു ഫീൽഡിൽ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും വലിയൊരു സ്ട്രഗിൾ ആണ്. ബിക്കോസ് ദിസ് ബേസിക് എലമെന്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് മാച്ചിങ് ടു വാട്ട് പാതയിലേക്ക് വരാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ അവൻ മാറി ചിന്തിച്ച് സോ അത് വെച്ചാണ് അവന്റെ യാത്ര ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിലേക്കുള്ള ആ ഒരു ജേർണി ഹി സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ആൻഡ് ഓഫ് കോഴ്സ് എൻഡഡ് അപ്പ് വെൽ. സോ നമുക്ക് ഈ സെഷന്റെ തുടർന്നുള്ള ഭാഗത്ത് കൂടുതൽ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാം. സോ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഫോർ യു ഫയാസ്, how you find this design field as a career. നമ്മുടെ പല വ്യൂവേഴ്സും because they also have that interest, passion for drawing. So drawing ഡിസൈനിന്റെ ഭാഗമാണോ? So to become a designer you need to have that drawing skill. ഒന്നാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം. രണ്ടാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, ഡിസൈൻ കാരിയർ എങ്ങനെയാണ്? You just put one example of how you made one logo and given to a client without expecting anything, because you are told, എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞു, you cannot expect anything. So ആർട്ടിസ്റ്റുകളുടെ ഇനീഷ്യൽ ഫേസ് എന്നുള്ളത് വലിയൊരു സ്ട്രഗിൾ ആണ്. ഓൺലി ആഫ്റ്റർ ദേ പാസ് എ സർട്ടൻ ത്രഷോൾഡ് ഒരു നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് അവർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുകയും തുടർന്ന് നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സെറ്റപ്പ് ഒക്കെ വരുന്നത്. സോ ചോദ്യം ഇതാണ്, ഈ ഡിസൈൻ കാരിയർ ഫീൽഡ് എങ്ങനെയാണ്? അതോടൊപ്പം ഹൗ യു ഫൈൻഡ്, ലൈക്ക് ഫോർ എ പേഴ്സൺ ഹു ഡോണ്ട് നോ ടു ഡ്രോയിങ് സ്കിൽ അത്യാവശ്യമാണോ? സോ can you guide through these points?
Sure. I cannot stress this enough. You don't need to know how to draw to be a designer.
Good.
You don't need it. If that skill exists, yes, it's great. You can scribble something out and trace it, but at the end of the day, everything just goes on the screen, you know. So drawing is not a required skill for a designer. I think a good example would be Justin Maller. He's one of the initial illustrators I used to follow. He has this art form. You guys can look him up. He has this art form called facets, where he had issues using his mouse or something, where he only did artworks in the form of straight lines. So all of them never had a circular edge. So when you start circling things is when you start have to looking for details and all of that. But so again, he's an Australian designer, amazing work, and I think he's this is a doubt that I had initially, because I could draw, but I found it was very tedious for me to take a picture and then trace it. It just took so long, and I'm a little lazy when I'm trying to get things done, because here you just have to like get it done. You're efficient, you're fast, you're good. That's it. So to answer your question, sir, you don't. Second thing is, design as a field has grown a lot. I think an example I can give is, when I started off, I never looked for a specialty. I just looked for my first job, and my first job was into. I had an internship in Bangalore, where I was helping this. I was working under this really amazing designer, and I used to just collect references at that point. All my job was to just collect references, and I was not, um, it was a very early learning stage. From that point onwards, I started in social media design. So to be a good social media designer, you have to um, really, really push through multiple designs very quickly. You're given a very limited time to work on something. So to give you an example, I had to, in my second job, when I was a social media designer, this is, I had some local brands that I worked on. I think I was working on close to 5 accounts a day. So each of them, so I had to divide my 8, 9 hours a day into these 5 creatives that I needed to do. Each one of them had their own individual artistic style. So that was just training. At the time, it felt like a lot of pressure, but now looking back, I'm glad I went through that. You know, uh, so from there, and then after that, I became a presentation designer. So document specialist is something not a lot of people know of, but that's an actual job. And I remember briefly at the time, Deloitte was hiring document specialist designers who basically just did beautiful layouts on PowerPoint. And they had to do just bar graphs and Venn diagrams. And that was an easy 12 LPA package. people who could
Mhm.
just work on PowerPoint. I mean, it's as kids we learned, we worked on it, but it never occurred to us that that could be a job. I mean, PowerPoint as a tool is useful, but this is, a job that you have to know PowerPoint to apply for it. So that's another example. And UI UX, apart from that, there are so many things that you can do with design. Um, and
Can you, because
on
just to add on, while explaining, can you explain like whenever you are using code tech, design technical word, no? Like presentation design or something you said, we don't know
Correct.
much about the field, so you can just
Right, right,
elaborate
right.
whenever it comes. Yeah, and
Okay.
also different design profiles. No, maybe you can explain the later stage because we have such questions. So
Okay, cool.
please carry on.
Yeah, sure, sir. Presentation design is basically called layout design. You just have to take a bunch of data that they give you in raw format, and then you arrange it using your, techniques in typography.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you learn things like typeface. You learn multiple typefaces, how the treatment follows. Then type hierarchy, which is basically a headline has to be this big, a copy has to be this big, and the subheadline has to be this big. So you learn all of that in presentation design, which is really good. Like it took a while for me to learn all the principles of how it works. You learn how to use the golden ratio in a presentation. We normally think about golden ratios in beautiful portraits and graphic design and all of that, but even in presentation design, you can use that to make your layout come beautifully. And I think the challenges that which were pretty nice was um, when there was a bunch of data which used to come and accumulate two slides. Your challenge is to fit them all in one and make them aesthetically pleasing. And
Great.
it was just fun. It's really good. You learn you learn things like Swiss style of I don't I hope I'm correct. Swiss style of arranging fonts, which is basically started, I think, post World War II. But you
Mm-hmm.
apply all of that here. You learn these things.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for a person, how he or she can prepare for a career in design, like as per you, from your experience, as per your viewpoint, opinion, how to prepare for an youngster, maybe 12th or maybe 10th, like student, like what all the thing he or she has to do. Can you please
Okay.
explain and help us? Yeah.
Sure. So, I think it's an answer that everybody knows, but they might not be able to put it forward correctly. It's your portfolio. Your portfolio speaks.
Any
And
education
uh,
course, institute, something like that.
okay, most of my learning was done on YouTube. So
Great.
the people I followed, I think number one is Chris Do.
Uh-huh.
He there he his in his initial channels, he had this channel where it was called Business of Design or something. It was one of his old videos where he showed how a portfolio should be
Uh-huh.
for a creative person to put it forward.
What is a
So
portfolio?
firstly,
Can you just,
yeah,
because
yeah,
some of
I
our views are very basic.
sure. Okay. So a portfolio is basically a collection of your work. So before, back in the day, they used to do it in physical form where they used to have a book. And it varies from, you can go from graphic design to creating reels, which are for motion designers and editors and everything. But when you put, right now it's in digital format, you arrange your project in a way that it has really good storytelling. So when we go for hiring, we usually have issues when people can't tell the story very well. So, first and foremost, again, I've explained what portfolio is. Secondly, Behance is a very good base to show your portfolio.
Mhm.
Uh, Another site that you can put it up is Dribble. Dribble, not a lot of traction. Behance is very well known in India. It's grown to another stage. So, in one of my jobs, I actually got recruited on Behance.
Behance, okay.
It's very simple. All you have to do is go to the site, create an account. It's very simple. And
Okay.
arrange your work in such a way that you don't just put, let's say, for example, if you're into logo designing,
Uh-huh.
you don't just take a logo, slap it on a white screen, and then put it up. That's not going to work. You have to
Okay.
basically tell a story. People love stories, so you have to tell them, okay, this is what my approach was. This is what my challenges were. This is how I approached them, and this is your result. And
Mhm.
the broader your story is, the more people would just get engaged. So if there's a person to hire you, he or she will actually see the portfolio and understand, okay, this person is just not going to take my instruction and put it across, but they're going to actually think about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you don't want to be a paintbrush, you know. You have to
Yeah,
be like, yeah, so you have to know how to put things across your own way.
true.
And the problem is, a lot of us, I used to be one to more like a passive, you know, okay, this is what you want, I'm going to do this. It's when I started breaking out of that, but being
Mhm.
respectful, of course, you have to be respectful to your client, to your boss, to your head of design, whoever it is, respectful, and, try testing things out and move forward. Sorry, I think we deviated a bit, but
No
to
problem, no
answer your
problem.
question, it's
Carry on.
Behance. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Another thing,
so
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I'll add to this. Something, initially, I think the challenges that when we look for people, or when I've looked for or applied for jobs, is I've observed people, when recruiters look for potential, creators, they look for people who worked on real life projects. So, for those who are beginning, I would suggest try looking for real life scenarios. For example, if you're into, let's say, motion design, there are these trends right now where you can take a random building from your city, you mask that particular area, and then
Mhm.
you place some sort of motion design on it. So the whole building looks interactive. Or let's say, for instance, if you're a graphic designer and you want to do signages, you see that there is this old shop where the signage looks outdated. You can just, do a quick mask on it on Photoshop and put in the signage you want, and then
Uh-huh.
show them a before and after. So again,
Mm.
it's all about building story. You're building depth. You're building, a narrative of what you've done and why you've done it. So that's for people who want to begin. Some of your
Okay.
best friends when you're beginning is obviously Pinterest.
Uh-huh.
Second one,
Pinterest, yeah.
Pinterest is your best friend.
Uh-huh.
Second one is Adobe Color Wheel.
Uh-huh.
Usually, color theory is something people struggle with.
Mhm.
And For me, what I've observed is Adobe Color Wheel really helps, your graphic designers out. It helps understand what color pairs with which one, and then you can, try to pair it with different things. And again,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have to put a disclaimer. Pinterest is your best friend, but do not depend on it 100%.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Okay, good. Yeah. So, just to summarize your this part of answering, for a person to become a designer, it should not be like that he or she has to attend a formal education, academic designing courses. Need not be a criteria. So, designing ഫീൽഡിലേക്ക് കടക്കാൻ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ നേടുന്നത് അക്കാദമിക് തലത്തിൽ തന്നെ വേണമെന്ന് നിർബന്ധമില്ല. യു ക്യാൻ ഡു സെൽഫ് ലേണിംഗ് യൂസിങ് യൂട്യൂബ് പോലെയുള്ള പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം ഉപയോഗിച്ച് യു ക്യാൻ ലേൺ. And employers are more concerned about your quality. നിങ്ങളുടെ വർക്കിന്റെ ക്വാളിറ്റിയിലാണ് they are more interested. So to showcase your work, നിങ്ങളുടെ വർക്ക് അവർക്ക് കാണിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി you can use the various portfolio, like different portfolio platforms you mentioned. അത് വെച്ച് അവരുടെ വർക്ക് ഷോക്കേസ് ചെയ്യാം. So your talent will be measured through your work and you will get job accordingly. അതാണ് ഫയാസ് പറഞ്ഞത് അല്ലെ?
correct.
Yeah, very good. So, let's come to your part again. നിങ്ങളുടെ കമ്പനിയെ കുറിച്ചും നിങ്ങളുടെ കമ്പനിയിലെ റോളിനെ കുറിച്ചും you can explain about your company and your
Okay.
role in that company, because I understand that your brand is standing for something very revolutionary, recently ഒരു പുസ്തകം publish ചെയ്തു. In that your name was very respectfully featured. Congratulations for that too. So
Thank you.
can you explain that too, please,
Sure,
to our
sure.
viewers?
So yes. So I work for this amazing brand called Shops. So I've been working with the company for about 2 years, and I've been the head of design for about a year and a half. So so here we basically do open footwear, and we do it well. I'd like to say. So
Yeah, sure.
yes. So yes, what we try to do is we try to stray away from the normal approach to footwear design, and I think a lot of I could get the credit goes to our co-founder Yashish Mukhi. I mean, he's an amazing person. He's just given us complete freedom over creating things, and it's really fun. I mean, again, the current release that we're doing is we're trying to give back, you know. So our new technology that we put across is a completely biodegradable sole. So we've developed this, and the sole would pretty much end up in a landfill, and for a regular footwear, which takes about, I think, 800 to 1,000 years to biodegrade, this takes only about 18 months, and we're trying to bring it down slowly. Now, for now, it's 18 months for the sole to biodegrade. Um, and yes, we've been very lucky. We got featured in India's Green Startups. So it was the top 14 companies that are more conscious towards the environment, and we're one of them. We're very proud of that. Again, a lot of this credit, like I mentioned, it goes to our co-founder, goes to my amazing team, Gayatri, Aniket, Sudhanshu, Kairav, all these guys. We do not have a ceiling at all. We just, push through and work. And it's fun. And one of the things that we try to do, and so far we've been lucky. We're doing it is we get excited on every collection that we put across, and yeah, the market's responding well, and we're very grateful.
So what's your role specifically? Like how your
Okay, so I'm
design
the head
thing
of
brings a
yeah,
difference? Yeah.
yeah, sorry. So I'm the head of design. I mainly handle the product design. So
Good.
so the team and I usually we start off separately conceptualizing, and then when we sort of put things together,
Mhm.
we put it across, and I basically have to sort of be the gate there to see if everything goes well, and then we push it forward to the development team, and they do their magic.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Great. Okay. So you have any message before concluding and going to the questions session, like to our viewers who want to pursue a career in design, who
Definitely,
has some passion for design, like any
definitely.
particular message to them?
Yes. So I think the first message I would say is don't try to find your specialty right now in design, because it takes a long time. I mean, I now I'm sort of in footwear design, and I'm very happy, and I'm gonna be here. It's what I was looking for. But for you guys, when you're starting out, please don't say, okay, this is what I will do, and I will wait. I mean, it's great, if you have the tenacity, if you have, if you're willing to wait. But I would say just start. Just apply somewhere and start. Don't overanalyze things. Of course, the basic things you have to analyze, like if the company has a good culture and everything. And another thing is something that I had didn't get for a long time is a mentor. It takes a while.
Yeah.
And please don't look for a mentor. A mentor is a very organic relationship you'll develop with a senior person, either in your organization or outside. He or she might not even be from the design world, but I've been blessed to have had quite a few mentors in my in my ongoing career. Um, and yeah, I think the main thing that's worked for me, and I don't know if it'll work for you guys, is passion and persistence. I promise myself if I'm working, I will work for something that I love,
Mhm.
which means that I'll not work. It won't feel like work, and I've just been persistent with that.
Great.
And Yeah, again, I'm going back to this. Your specialty, yes, can wait, but please get started. It's an amazing time to be in design. The culture's grown so well, and there are so many. A lot of companies have recognized that they've needed designers right now, and it's a good place to start right now.
Good. Good. So, next part. Okay. Before concluding, we should have a question answer session. And one question. The first question is about different what do you call design career fields, main career fields. Can you just
Yes.
explain to our viewers like different types of just I know you cannot explain everything, just the top notch ones.
Okay. The top-notch ones. I think uh, what's fully in demand right now is probably UI UX design.
Mm-hmm.
This is mainly to do with website design. As a UI UX designer, you'd be in charge of building a website. Not necessarily code it, but you can use tools like Figma or Adobe XD to build your website or an app or a web app. But that's pretty well to do right now. Now, the profile that I mentioned about documentation specialist is something that AI is taking care of right now. So I wouldn't 100% recommend it, but I would say please explore it because typography and layout design is something every designer has to. I personally feel. I mean, maybe illustrators and motion designers might not need it, but it's always good to know how to present your work. So I would say that career-wise, again, graphic design is a ever booming stream. I started off as a graphic designer, and
Great.
it's just really great. You can pivot into so many places as a graphic designer.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a great thing. So from graphic design, you can dip your toes into logo and identity design. That's again a very large field. Everybody looks for their logos. That's something AI is not going to take away from us anytime soon. There's no need to worry. Again, being a logo and identity designer has its own, study to do. So please look into it. Another great field that you can enter is motion design. If you're good at video editing and if you're good at character design, you can always get into motion design. A lot of production companies in India, especially, always look for motion designers. Video editing is something that's not going to go away. That's also something that's always in demand. Um, yeah, you also mentioned printing. Um, yeah, and that's just the top
Yeah,
of my
okay.
head right
No
now.
problem. No
Oh,
problem.
sorry, product design. What I'm doing right now. Oops. Okay,
Product
fashion
design. Yeah.
design. Yes, fashion design is again something that you guys can pursue. Uh, you know, um, uh, it's this the industry is always on a lookout for really good product fashion designers. And please don't restrict yourself because you're not from the fashion background. And just if you're interested, just do it. And don't let the softwares hold you back.
Sure. Okay. Second question for a mechanical engineer, if he or she wants to reach to design field, whether this engineering degree which he or she has will be a barrier or will be a bridge.
No.
What do you feel?
Okay, so the first 4 years of my career, I didn't have a degree, and it never stopped me. Because at the end of the day, for us, it's all about the portfolio. So regardless of you having a degree or not, some companies would have would have it as a barrier
Hmm.
of having a degree. Only if you have a degree is when they get in. There's their policy. Again, no disrespect, um, but it's not going to be a problem to answer your question. So
Okay. What about artificial intelligence? Whether artificial intelligence will replace designers? Because so many design applications, softwares, they started having their own artificial intelligence, special toolbar, special something. They added most of them. So many of our viewers have that problem. അവർക്കൊരു ചെറിയൊരു പേടിയുണ്ട് അങ്ങനെ ഡിസൈൻ ഫീൽഡിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങിയാൽ ഈ ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ ഇന്റലിജൻസ് വെച്ച് നൗ ദേ ആർ മേക്കിംഗ് ലോഗോസ് posters, many things, even video editing also. Most of them they do it. So, Fayaz, what is your answer for them? Like artificial
Okay.
intelligence is going to replace the designers?
No, it won't. So, like I mentioned, AI is just going to be an extension of your toolbar. So don't hate it, embrace it. I don't think we're going to lose our jobs anytime soon. I would say, so the thing with AI is, most clients I worked with, or most clients we do work with, they most of them do not know what they want. So for
Okay.
sure, to get some output of an AI, you have to put in the right prompt. And 99% of the time, I mean, I wouldn't say that. Maybe I'll get the metric wrong, but you need human connection to completely seal it. I don't think AI is going to replace any designer. Again, at the same
Okay.
time, please don't hate it because I use AI every day. I mean, Photoshop has amazing generative fill,
AI
and
features.
it's
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's just really great.
Yeah.
So I would say no.
Okay, so as per Fairaz, than competing, than getting feel insecure, adapt it, uh, take it to your fort, and just collaborate with it. So that's and also as with our dear guest Fayaz, add human elements. ഫയാസിനെ പോലെ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പെരുമാറുന്ന കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിനെ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്ന ടു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് വെൽ വിത്ത് ദം നോട്ട് ഓൺലി വിത്ത് കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ടീമിലുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുമായിട്ടും ഉള്ള കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ സോ അത് വലിയൊരു പാർട്ട് തന്നെയാണ് ആ രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ സ്കിൽ കൂടി വേണം എംപ്ലോയബിലിറ്റി സ്കിൽ വേണം സോഫ്റ്റ് സ്കിൽ വേണം അതൊക്കെ ദേ ആർ ഓൾ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ക്രിട്ടിക്കൽ എലമെന്റ്സ്. So Fayaz, I have so many questions, but I know it's already crossed 37 minutes. I won't hold you, and I think this is the fourth or fifth time you are taking that bottle. I don't know whether water is left. Any
No,
water
I'm sorry. I'm
left
just a little dehydrated. It's
in that
okay. I'm
bottle.
good.
Okay, so thank you so much, dear Fayaz.
No problem.
So I hope, inshallah, next time also we can plan another session
Inshallah.
just to answer many critical questions regarding designing, especially. So let it be the first session. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and sparing your great time. Thank you, sir.
That's fine, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the platform to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Bye.